Raho Khmer, Punch Out Boxing. I'm delighted to be speaking to Runqi Zhou and his lovely wife April, who's on translation duty all the way from Sydney, Australia, by way of China, I believe. Runqi, congratulations. You've been selected for the Riyadh season WBC Grand Prix tournament to represent China. So I just wanted to introduce you to the fans. Our channel has fans from all over the world, but we're mostly in the Western world. So a lot of us wouldn't have heard of you until now. So thanks for your time. Runki, if you can just tell us about your boxing background. When did you start boxing? Why did you start? What was your amateur career like before you turned pro?
Yeah, sure. Please give me a sec. I will just translate a little bit to him.
Absolutely.
嗯，Thank you。他就是说，现在很恭喜你参加了这次世界性的赛事嘛，然后之前，然后更多的人会认识到你。然后他就是说，你现在代表中国参加这个比赛，然后从这么远的地方，从国内到了澳洲来嘛。当然他记错了你的地方，他说你在悉尼了，他就想问你说，你会跟大家介绍一下你之前的一个经历啊，有没有打过业余拳击啊等等这些的，就你之前一个职业拳击的过程啊，从什么时候开始打的等等这些情况，拳击背景。
我在中国的时候是一直在别的国家去进行战斗，
然后从什么时间开始学习拳击？
从我是从2020年是第一场职业拳击比赛，之前没有打过业余拳击比赛。先回答第一个问
Yeah,
题。
so he started his boxing as the first fight in 2020 for his professional debut, and he never had any amateur fight before. And he used to fight overseas in many countries in China before, like Japan and Korea. Yeah.
我来到澳大利亚以后，我加入了现在的团队，然后我跟着我新的教练在一起训练，所以说我我们
Mhm.
我们就是对这场 tournament 非常有信心，为这场大奖赛非常有信心。
Yeah, he feel very confident fighting now in Australia and for the tournament upcoming because he got his new coach, as everyone knows, is Angela Hyder and the assistant coach Tony Nopsey. And yeah, and they're preparing for the fights well now.
Fantastic. Just interested, why did he turn professional without having an amateur career? I know in China they it's quite prestigious to go to the international competitions in the amateur game.
Yeah, 他问你为什么没有打业余拳击，就打的职业拳击。然后他也是要在中国的话，如果你想在国际舞台上打业余拳击，是一个比较困难的事情。
是的，因为当初我因为身材的原因，我没有进入专业队的选拔标准，所以说我没有机会进入专业队打业余拳击。然后，但是我依旧热爱拳击这个运动，我加入了拳击俱乐部，开始了拳击训练，然后直接就进行职业拳击比赛了。虽然我也不想这样，但是我热爱拳击，没有办法。
He had went to try to meet the qualification of the national teams in China before, like provisional like the competitions, but his height and reach is not to the standard. As you can see from the box, right, he's only 170 centimeters high, but his reach is only 162.
Mhm.
But he still loves boxing. That's why he still choose to go to the clubs for professional boxing, and that's why he didn't have any amateur experiences in China before, only professional experiences.
Oh, fascinating. So in China, they still go by the physical dimensions. That's interesting. But you did the right thing because I'm the same height as you, and hey, I'm winning at life. So don't let anyone tell you that being shortcut, you can't succeed. All right. So you've been relocated to Sydney for a year now.
他就是说他还是很惊讶，中国还要卡这种就是物理性的身高体重等等的。然后他问说：“你现在来到悉尼1年了吗？”
我现在我和我的妻子居住在澳大利亚的黄金海岸。现在我们来到澳大利亚已经8个月了。
Yeah, we are actually staying at Gold Coast, so instead of Sydney, and we have been in Australia for 8 months.
Wow. So how did that big move come about? Because usually, as I said, it's usually fighters who've had like a very big amateur career that go abroad. How did you get the contacts to move to Australia?
那时候你是怎么能来到澳洲的？然后而且没有 AM 的经验这样子，然后移动了这么远的距离来到黄金海岸。
首先，在我拳击方面，在我的职业拳击方面，我一直在不同的国家进行战斗，我几乎上是没有在中国进行过战斗，所以说我很熟悉在别的国家战斗的经验。你先翻译这个。
Yeah, so he says he even in China he don't have much experience at fighting like domestically in the China like context. The majority of his fights is overseas, so he got a lot of overseas experience in professional boxing.
后来发生了一些事情，我的妻子愿意继续支持我的梦想，所以我们就选择搬家，从中国移动到澳大利亚进行训练、进行比赛。
Yeah, so something happened in China, and my wife still want to sponsor me to Australia because I have been studying in Australia before. So he decided, and we decided to move to Australia to continue his professional boxing career here.
Fantastic. Great husband and wife team you are as well. uh, so, have you been getting to grips with the different boxing culture in Australia? As you know, in the West, it's very much about selling yourself. You have to promote yourself almost. A lot of insults of potential opponents, rivals, that sort of thing. How have you find that side of the professional game?
你来到这边之后，有没有发现一些拳击方面的就是文化上面的不同？比方说这边他会互相对骂呀，或者是去推广自己，然后来获得赞助商啊，或者是吸引更多的关注，作为拳击手。
我发现这边的无论是拳击也好，还是综合格斗也好，各个体育项目都非常发达，然后人们也非常热爱体育，然后运动员们也有推广自己的方式，每个人的方式都不同，也有你说的互相对骂，然后互相炒作这样的方式。我确实发现了有这些不同的地方。刚开始我也有些惊讶，然后但是后来嘛，我还是坚持选择做我自己。
Yeah, he says in the very beginning when he come to Australia, there is actually culture shocks regarding the things that you have said, like people, like the athletes insulting each other to get attention from the audiences to sell the tickets and try to get sponsors. And the thing is that in Australia, they are very advanced in promoting, like different promoters, they have different strategies to promote their boxes. And the other thing is that you can see the athletes are very passionate in Australia. He's getting used to this kind of culture, as the time being in Australia.
Hmm. Yeah, it's I guess it is that would be a culture shock. And what about in terms of the training? Again, I don't think professional boxing is that popular yet in China. So has he learned a lot? Has he had to get that different sort of professional style of training? Has that been a challenge getting used to that?
然后你来到澳洲之后，有没有感觉跟中国的这个职业拳击的训练有什么区别啊？有没有什么让你惊讶或者感觉不同的地方？
这儿的训练就很注重对于职业生涯的发展，很注重对于拳手的保护。在中国，虽然有很多的拳击手，但是他们没有好的训练方式，也没有好的获胜的方式。可以说训练是非常辛苦，但是没有好的结果。
Yeah, so he feel like in Australia is they do have a lot of strategies for the training and you can see like the coach think of their well-being and the health of the athletes. But instead in China, you can see like the Chinese boxers are really being hardworking in their trainings, but they do not have very professional guidance, you know, and a good career planning as compared to Australia.
Oh, fascinating stuff. So, unlike some of your rivals in this tournament, you've actually got quite a bit of experience. You've travelled abroad, as you said. You've also fought 10 rounders a few times. Do you think that will give you a bit of an advantage over your rivals, some of whom have never gone beyond 6 rounds?
Yeah. 他就是说，这次比赛前你有很多的在国外的比赛经验了，然后包括有10个回合左右的经验，然后有没有觉得说，因为有这些经验，你会更有一些胜出的优势？因为很多人他可能只最多打过6个回合这样子。
嗯，我认为这些优势都是过去的一些经验，我们更要遵循的就是我们要面对的对手是个什么样的人，我们现在要面对的对手是个什么样风格的人，这样是对比赛的尊重，也是对自己的尊重。
He feel like the experiences that he have got is only about his past, but what he's trying to focus is now like what's the style of the opponent and how to conquer like the difficulties when preparing the match. So he feel like being very prepared for the match is respecting the opponent, also respecting the match this time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And have you been, and you and your coach, have you been already scouting out all your potential opponents? Of course, you don't know who you're going to fight yet, but because it's international, you're going to come across maybe some styles that you've not seen. There's fighters from like South America, for example, the United States. Maybe they've got styles that you've not yet fought. So have you already started looking at that with your coach?
那么你现在就是你虽然不知道确认跟谁打比赛，但是有没有去了解你目前的这个对手名单上的人，然后包括一些你没有接触的人，比方说南美的或者美洲的一些选手的风格，有没有跟你的教练去聊这些情况？
我虽然没有确定我的对手，但是我在官网上已经搜集到了所有 featherweight 的拳手的信息，而且我一个一个查看了他们的视频以及比赛风格。我虽然不确定我即将要打谁，但是我对所有即将报名的人，我心里就已经有数了。
Yeah, so he have already checked all the opponents that are announced on the WBC website. So I think it's roughly about around 20 of them, and he have already checked all their previous records and also their fighting videos on YouTube already. So even though he's not knowing like who is going to fight for the upcoming fight, but he already knows like what kind of strategy that he's going to use, and he already communicate with his coach already.
Wow, that's fantastic. And how did it come about that you got selected for this tournament? Did your coach or manager apply for you?
那问你是怎么确认参加这场比赛的？是你的经纪人或者教练帮你申请的吗？
是的，是我的经纪人 Tony Tosh 先生帮我申请的。
Yeah, his manager Tony Tosh applied for him during Christmas last year, and he got in, I think, in January this year.
Fantastic. How exciting is that to be selected for this prestigious tournament that could catapult you to world fame?
他说你有没有感到很激动，然后参加这样世界性的比赛？
我非常开心能够站在沙特利雅得的舞台上，打出我自己的风格，让更多的人看到我的拳头，看到我周润齐这个人。
He's very honored to fight in this Grand Prix as more people around the world can see like who he is as Runqi Zhou and also his fighting style across the world.
Absolutely. And of course, win this tournament or even put in a good showing, it should catapult you into the world rankings. I'm sure your dream is maybe to fight for a world title. How do you assess the featherweight scene at the moment? You've got a couple of Mexicans, Americans, you know, who are the world champions. One of my own countrymen, Nick Ball, is fighting tomorrow. He has the WBA belt. And of course, Japan superstar Naoya Inoue is probably going to move into featherweights in the next year. Are any of those big names, does he have them as a dream opponent?
Yeah. 他就是说，你打这个比赛的话，你的世界排名肯定会靠前嘛。那如果你赢了，可能未来就会着眼于打世界冠军这样子。那你对于126磅，你有什么理想的你想打的对手？然后包括像锦标上面会移动到126磅，那你未来的打算是怎么样的？对于世界冠军这样子，就是你的世界金腰带，你有没有什么你想打的对手，或者是你对126磅这个级别腰带选手的看法？这样。
首先，你刚才说到的所有人，我认为他们都是一个很好的拳击手。我对于未来的打算就是做好我当下每一步事，做好我当下每一天的工作与训练，然后跟着我的训练计划、训练安排去走，去做好每一次的比赛，一次又一次影响当下的比赛。
He's trying to focus on the fights that is coming, and he knows the people that you're talking about, and he thinks they are all great fighters. Yeah, and he feel like he need to win like one by one. At least focus on this one now, then eye on the next one or even the world championships in the future.
Fabulous, yeah. Fully focused on the job. And look, just lastly, is professional boxing, is it popular? Is it gaining popularity in China? And would he like to one day be involved in a big fight in his hometown of Zhengzhou? Or does he want to concentrate on his adopted home now of Australia?
那问你，就是职业拳击在中国就是火爆吗？有没有市场？然后你有没有想过回国去打比赛？比方说在郑州啊，你的家乡等等的地方打主场，还是说你是想更多的专注于在澳洲比赛？
嗯，中国的职业拳击目前还在发展的阶段，它没有一个足够稳定的发展。目前呢，我只想就是抓住眼下的机会，去尽可能的打好每一场赛。当然，在自己的家乡打主场也是我自己的人生理想。我也希望能在我职业生涯的时光里，我可以实现这个理想。
He says his focus now is eyeing on the opportunities that he have got in Australia. But it's going to be great that if he got a chance during his career life in professional boxing, that he got an opportunity to fight in China and even like any city in China for once. And the thing is that in China, the professional boxing is not really very having a sustainable development. So not really very popular among the people in China.
Mm-hmm. All right, fascinating stuff. All right, well, however the journey goes, it's going to be interesting. You've got a great story. Yeah, Runqi, is there anything you want to add?
你还有什么想知道的吗？想说的？
非常感谢你的采访。目前我会用自己更新的状态去在这场比赛上给大家带来惊喜。
Thank you so much for taking the time to interview him today, and we are trying his best to develop his skills and upgrade his skills and give his best in this match. Thank you.
Pleasure's been all mine. Love to introduce new fighters to the fans, so keep an eye out for Runqi Zhou, Fists of Fury. He's coming to Riyadh season and the WBC Grand Prix. We'll hopefully speak to you again soon.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank
evening.
you.